Yeah, I'll just be one-man show if that happens.
Welcome to Brisbane Small Business Show, or BSB TV as we like to call it. It's today. I'm really honoured. I've got Karen Lang. She was the 2013 winner of the Canadian short video competition. Is this something to do specifically with Insta or?
No, so that was more television broadcasts and commercials in general. I think at that point, Instagram didn't quite have video marketing hitting the ground and running just yet. So yeah.
Excellent. That is a very cool award to win. You've since come to Australia. You found yourself in Brisbane. How did you do that?
Long story, but mainly got attracted to the outback out here. I studied abroad in New Zealand briefly, took a trip over, became enchanted, and then eventually met my Australian partner overseas and relocated here. So yeah, it's been a good journey.
Fantastic. And Australia's going for that, that's for sure. Now, you've got a really exciting story about creating videos, and you've been doing it for big agencies. You've now created your own small business doing that. And so you've put your hand up. You've joined the BSB gang, as I like to call it, the team that's going to help me actually get my message out there, because I've been doing a really crap job of it. I know that I have. We'd be so much more engaging now that we've got a team, which will be fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about using video specifically, but across different mediums. Like, our members aren't just here on Facebook. They do have Insta accounts, they've got Twitter accounts, they'll have LinkedIn accounts, and I'm sure they do Snapchat and TikTok and other things. Yeah. Does the same video work for all of them, or what's the whole story there?
No, I would say definitely not. So the first thing to remember when you're putting out a video to different platforms is that there are different standards for people's attention on each platform. So Facebook, I might watch an autoplay video that goes for 20 seconds before I decide, you know what, I'm engaged, I'm going to turn off the captions, hit the volume button, and watch this through. On something like Instagram, you have people for probably less than 10 seconds before they're just scrolling past there. Things like LinkedIn or YouTube, you can play with longer formats as well, but you can take a video you've shot and optimize it for each platform, but you need to know sort of what the standards for each platform are and the demographic you're targeting on each platform itself.
Absolutely. Now, and we had that funny discussion earlier on, and I said, look, I actually think that, particularly for the people that we're trying to talk to, largely they'll have the demographic across a number of those platforms. Maybe they can get away with using the same video, but not always. So, it really is interesting to think about how you use your video and how you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think often people already have footage. They have, a web video, or perhaps they were featured on a TV show or something. And it's not that difficult to take what you have and clip it down or crop it down or add text or animations or graphics or music, or even, bits of a recorded thing about a blog post in between to make sure that it's suiting the medium that you're putting out. And you can often reuse and reference posts that you've made before, because like something with Instagram, we kind of burn through posts, right? We can only use everything once or twice before it becomes too much of a repost. But referencing previous posts or referencing previous information you've put up with a flashy new intro is a great way to sort of recycle footage and make sure you have the amount of content you need to be relevant and consistent.
Absolutely. And that's something that I keep saying to people here in Australia. Now, you may not know Frank Walker from National Tiles, but most people in Australia do. Do you know him?
I feel like I've heard him referenced as like everyone knows that guy.
Yeah, because he ran ads in the morning as people were driving to work on every single radio station, I'm sure. And he puts on this really bad, annoying as crap voice, and he did it for years and years and years and years. Obviously it worked for him, and it was that constant repetition. I keep saying to people, hey, when you have stuff, you need to repurpose it, you need to reuse it again and again and again and again, and that way you will be in front of people more consistently and be able to get a really cool message across. And you don't even have to change your message, because hey, it's social media. People forget. We're a bit like,
we're like goldfish.
I was going to say, I reckon we're becoming more like goldfish every single day. What were we talking about now? So we were going to give them 5 steps.
Yes.
In relation to minutes. So 5 steps to what? 5 steps to creating cool videos?
Yeah, I would say so. 5 steps for optimizing your video for the platform that you're putting it out on. And maybe even just, if you don't mind, a little bit before we go into that, because a lot of people just put up blog posts or photos or whatnot, and they don't know why they should put up video, if that makes sense. And there's actually tons of data and studies that are showing now that a video on social media goes so much further, whether that's in your social media story, in your, Instagram posts or on Facebook. People tend to interact with it more. And even if they aren't, liking it, sharing it, tagging, it sticks in their mind much more than just a bit of text or a graphic does. So it really helps to sprinkle in some high quality video content with the other things you're putting out. And as long as your messaging is consistent throughout, they'll start to reference each other. And every time they see a text post, they might even think of a video where you've given them more information and more reason to buy in.
Absolutely. And people are watching more video. Okay. So, and as you said, they're quite often watching it with the sound off. So it's important to make sure that you've got those sort of things happening and all that. These are things that I hear on the grapevine. As I said, I'm a good generalist. I really don't know much about anything, but I know lots about lots, if that makes sense. So a little bit about lots. So 5 steps to optimizing you said it really in a really cool way. 5 steps to optimizing your video and making
for
sure
the right platform.
Gets out for the right platform. Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. So what are the steps?
Number one, I'd say the biggest thing is figuring out your video length for each platform. And just, you can have a range here. You could say Facebook 2 to 3 minutes, Instagram 20 to 30 seconds, but always having that structure also helps your audience know that every time I see something from you on Instagram, this is how long you're going to have my attention for. And breaking that down even further, having some structure in there of always starting with, let's say you're doing a did you know segment of having the same branded graphic design intro, the same end tag with your logo, just having those steps for people to know immediately that it's this video and it's going to tell me this and it's part of this series.
Fantastic. So the length and consistency. So you actually just gave me 2 points, not 1.
I did. Yeah. Sorry. I might have packed
my
those
goodness. We might end up with 6 points. This is not good. So step number 2 or 3.
Yeah, let's go 3. Yeah, we should really split that first one into 2. So 2
is 3. Number 3 is?
That would be making sure that all the key information you have is being delivered visually. Even if your video is somebody talking on screen, you either need big bold captions or you need key points sort of popping up as animated text, because we don't turn the audio on when we scroll through Instagram, and you need to catch people's attention either with a opening graphic or with all that text coming up so they know what they're looking at and they're not just gonna, oh, it's another talking head, I'm just gonna move on and watch something else.
Yeah, and it's important. I see so many people, even on Facebook, because I'm not much of an Instagrammer, as you know, and you've pointed out to me. That's on Facebook. I see so many people putting up live videos, and there's no intro or anything else, and they're just talking to the camera, and it's on silent. And I'm going, I don't know, they haven't really got my engagement at all. Next.
Yeah. And another thing you can do if you don't want to caption the whole thing is just, let's say I'm putting out, 5 tips to improve your social media video. That needs to be a banner over the top of my head the whole time. And so someone can at least read it and say, I do want those tips. I'm going to tune in and start again at the beginning.
Absolutely. Way above my pay grade there. So what's your next tip? So that's 3 tips. So that's 1 is the length. 2 was make sure you got consistency. 3 is make sure even without audio, it's going to be fine. So what's the next one?
The next one is making sure you have the right thumbnail for me. And this is something that I see so many businesses forget on something like Instagram. I've made animated videos for companies, and then I see it go up and it's a blank screen with the color, or, it's a frame where you really can't tell what's going on. And you need to remember that when someone is scrolling through your videos, all your videos on Facebook, all they get is that thumbnail. So either create a custom thumbnail that has the right title on it, the right information, or pick a thumbnail from your video that is clearly advertising what you need it to, or even your logo. That's the easiest one to go to if, all your faces look funny in the thumbnails that you have. People should see it and think, okay, I know what that video is about. I can click it and watch it.
I'm sure somewhere in the Facebook algorithm, somebody has a really evil sense of humor, because every single time on my Facebook lives, there's a thing I'm going, or something. Really bad faces. One of those. Yeah,
there's some AI with a vendetta.
I promise you.
Yeah.
So make sure you got an engagement. That's where you can control the thumbnail. Make sure that you've got one where that's going to be engaging. Absolutely. So length, consistency, audio or not audio, then thumbnail. And point number 5?
Point number 5 would be making sure that the copywriting that goes with your post, whether that's a description on Facebook or your hashtags on Instagram, are selected properly for what you're posting about. And so, for example, Instagram, I'll just go into a little more detail here because I know a bit more about that area. Research has shown that ideally you want 9 to 11 hashtags. And out of those hashtags, you want a mix of these really broad hashtags that have millions of posts, and also these really specific ones that are going to target a small community that's following them. And you kind of get to measure your appeal and widen your appeal through these hashtags. So look at your video, see what's in it. Your hashtag doesn't have to be 100% related, but you can look for sort of peripheral interests. So if you're advertising, say, vegan gelato, you might realize that those people have an interest. Look, I don't know where that came from. But you might be advertising to people who also like eco-friendly products and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're catching the fringe of people who are maybe interested in what you have to offer, and doing that sort of subconsciously in your hashtags and picking where this video is going to pop up.
Yeah, and Facebook users just said hi, but we don't know who you are because we can't see that. So it doesn't share information on who it is unless we already know them. So I'm sorry about hi. So the hashtag stuff. Now, the hashtag stuff really confuses me.
In what way?
Because I'm a Facebooker, I can even admit that now. It took me a long time, but because I'm a Facebooker and I get Facebook a little bit, Facebook really doesn't care about hashtags at all, does it?
It's not as, you can still use hashtags to find things, and you can hashtag things, but it's less of the common lingo and search function in comparison to, say, Twitter or Instagram.
Cool.
So I would say, with Facebook, what you want to make sure is that your copywriting is really matching the video, and making sure that your copywriting is linking to, say, your own Facebook page or to other relevant things, not just in text, but making sure you actually have links and call outs to different groups, or your company page, or an event page for what you're promoting, or a product page, or any of that. Like, you need to have leads coming out of your video where people can actually go and find out more information, instead of just being interested and thinking, okay, well, I already follow your page, I like this video, all right, that's it. And if you don't have links or anything for people to further pursue, make your post interactive. Add something where tag a friend who would love this product. Why don't you comment with this, and this, like this if you feel this way, or use an emoji reaction if you actually feel this way about the product, and just encourage people to actually click on your video and be interacting with it.
So we're going to encourage everyone to tag a friend who would like this video.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, who could find it useful. So someone who's part of a business and they're, they need some of these tips.
This is so easy. I've just aced it.
There you go. You don't need me anymore.
Oh, yeah, we do. Now, Carol, thank you very much for sharing your tips. So those 5 tips for creating engaging videos for the platform that you are using is to understand the length, make sure it works without audio, be consistent, engaging thumbnails, and making sure that you're not just pulling funny faces, consistency in branding, and making sure that you're using the right hashtag. So there's the 5 steps. I think I've learned something today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely, I have. Thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate it, Carol.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you too.